Welcome back to CT Sports Now here on Vantage Sportsnet. And look who has joined me. We promised that champions would be here on the set at CT Sports Now, and the St. Joe's Hogs, Class S state football champions, have joined me. Fellas, thank you so much. Let me introduce everybody, starting to my immediate right, Jude Onjieski. I get that right, huh?
Yes, sir.
I will not mention it after this. We have Mike DiOrio, another senior captain, and Jared Malazzi, along with head coach Joe Dellavecchia. And shame on you young men, for Coach Dellavecchia had a full head of hair before the playoffs started, and look at him now.
That is true. That is true.
Congratulations, guys. And everybody's talking about your rally in the second half to win and knock off Ansonia to win the Class S title. You got down even in the third quarter, even farther than you were at halftime, down 28-7. Joe, I'll start with you. What was the magic elixir? What did you either say or switch on the field, X's and O's wise, to get this job done?
Well, I think in the first half we were, a little too hyped up. We were overzealous with a lot of things that we were doing. We had 12 penalties in the first half. Wow. A lot of mistakes that we hadn't made all year, and all within 24 minutes. So, we had to calm down a little bit. So that was the message at halftime. Let's just slow down, calm down, gather ourselves here. We're only down 15 points, not that big of a deal. And then, we adjusted a couple of things with our offensive line, and we made a couple of switches with personnel and defense where they were playing, and everything was fine after that.
Mike, let me ask you in the middle, what in your mind, coming out of the locker room for that second half, what changed attitude-wise, at least for this team? And then what did you see on the field that helped you change?
Well, they were giving away a couple keys here and there, like where they were going to run to. So we knew they were going to go to where they had more numbers every time. So we were shifting towards that side. And attitude-wise, they kind of smacked us in the mouth. And we've been fighting all year, so we were ready to get back at them and keep fighting and just try to hold them and let our offense do their thing. All
right, we're going to check on your mic in just a second. Jude, while I have you next to me, you guys rallied middle of the season late in the ball game to knock off Ridgefield. Was the mindset, was that talked about at halftime, or was it talked about by the guys, hey, we've done this before, we can do it again?
It wasn't really talked about between us, like in the locker room. However, I'm sure everyone in their heads was thinking exactly the same situation, pretty much knowing that we've been in the exact same scenario before. So we knew what it was like to be behind. We knew what it was like in order to change our game plan, so we were prepared in that way.
And Jared, was there any sense of concern, maybe a little panic as the third quarter began, and you knew it's a state final and you're down double digits?
Not necessarily. Like we said before, against Ridgefield, we were down by that much, and I knew David was pretty confident during the whole game.
David Summers, your quarterback?
Yeah, David Summers, yeah. And he did the same thing in the Ridgefield game, and I think our whole offense, our defense kept that poise to keep on going, and I think that confidence was key.
Joe, you look back now, and I'm sure you will for months, and thinking pleasant thoughts about this. But when you look back at this, what does it say about the character of this team that they were able to do what they've done?
Well, I think it says a lot about their character, about their resiliency during the game. A couple of ironic things kind of happened during the game. When we played Ridgefield, we talked about coming back in the second half, and the first possession, Ridgefield had the ball, they scored. Ansonia comes out in the second half, first possession, scores. We started putting together and coming back, and we actually scored to go up 35-28 with about 6:40 something left in the game there. And we go back 7 years ago, it was a 35-24 game, or excuse me, 35-28 game with 6:39 to go. It was about the same time. I remember looking at the scoreboard saying, "Oh my God, here it goes again."
Guys, what does that feel like? Any of you when you're in the middle of that?
It's unreal.
Jude, you want
to? What, like thinking about what?
Well, when
years
everybody's
ago,
jumping up and down when your classmates rush the field and it's you've secured and you've won it all.
I guess surreal is the only way to explain it. It's just we know we've worked so hard for everything, and it was just amazing to finally feel what we experienced right after the victory.
All right, Mike, I don't know if your mic's working, so speak up a little louder. so one of our mics will pick it up. But tell me about your feeling about this team now and what you might remember when you get to be old like me.
Well, this team has an incredible heart. You know, we're smaller than a lot of other teams in the FCIAC. They have bigger lines than us, but we come out and we play with heart every snap, every play, and we're really a family. So we've been sticking together all year, and that really means a lot to us as captains.
You know, Jared, you guys were close a year ago and weren't able to capture state title. The expectations all year, was it something you guys had to deal with? Were you able to put it aside easily? Did it creep back in at all? And was the feeling at becoming a state champion what you expected it might feel like? Was it better? Not up to, be honest, not up to the what you had hoped it was, or better?
It was definitely better, way better. I knew like I'd be happy at the end of the game, but seeing, like you said, all the fans come on the field, see all my teammates jumping in the air all happy, that just made me feel like so happy inside, and it just didn't feel real at first, but then seeing it all come together was like we worked so hard for this, so I kind of expected it, like you said.
Joe, I know you don't play favorites, but this team going to be considered one of the greats in St. Joe's history?
Well, any championship team is one of the greats in history. I think this year with this group of kids, it's certainly a very special championship. Both some of the things we had go on off the field and personally for me, how we started this season. I lost my dad to start the year, and they rallied around me, and to cap it off with a celebration with the entire student body, and that's certainly something that I'll never forget.
Guys, was there an aha moment for you during the season where you thought we really can be state champs, and what, you know, something happened on the field in a game? Maybe it was the Ridgefield game. You say, hey, you know what? If we play the way we have the talent to play, we're going to win it all. Jude?
Well, obviously after our opening week against New Canaan, everyone sort of was like, okay, this is the kind of team, this is the caliber team that we have this year. We faced a little rough patch after Darien going into Stanford that week. But once we recovered after Darien, that was when we realized we had a team, we had a good team, we had a lot of leadership. We bonded well, and maybe that we would have a good chance to do well in the state finals.
Well, guys, very happy for you. You know, I know the effort that you put in all season long, and so I can appreciate that. I really appreciate you coming in on a school night, talk about this, and you know, hope you have great holiday seasons and enjoy. And I know you got, you know, rest of school and more sports to come in the next coming semester. So best of luck. Thanks again. And Joe, best of luck to you. And I guess you got something to try and defend next year, right?
We sure do. We're going to enjoy this for a while, though, before we get back to work. And like I said, they're all special, and we had a great time. And we have a lot of things to look forward to the next few weeks, too, to celebrate.
And celebrate you should, and memories you'll have forever. Joe Della Vecchia and the St. Joe's Hogs, or at least 3 of the captains, Class S state champions here in Connecticut. Congratulations, guys.